Argonne Forest was inspired by one of the most brutal campaigns in World War I. The intense location from Battlefield 1 is a fast-paced, linear and close-quarters map. I'll be breaking down how it works as a map and the history behind the real-life Argonne Forest. The dense woods and trenches capture the atmosphere in one of the most important campaigns of World War I. It was called the Meuse-Argonne Offensive. Argonne is one of Battlefield 1's tight, close-quarters locations. It was designed for fast-paced combat in a claustrophobic environment. Visibility of soldiers is limited, with ambush sites spread across. The map is divided into 5 key sectors that can be conquered, each zone offering different tactical options, such as bunkers, trenches, and ruins. The map is filled with aggressive choke points where grenade spam is strong. The natural formation of the trenches leads to tighter choke points, and it makes players cross through narrow bunkers. Argonne features American soldiers fighting against the German Empire. The Meuse-Argonne Offensive was a World War I campaign that began from September to November 1918. It was a key operation that broke down German defenses located in the Western Front. This offensive helped the Allied forces advance towards the end of World War I. According to the American Battle Monuments Commission, this offensive was a strategic operation that successfully penetrated the German Hindenburg Line. According to the Encyclopedia Britannica, this was one of the largest American campaigns during World War I. It was also a turning point. The Allies, looking to break through the line and cut off vital routes, began with over 1 million soldiers under General Pershing. Within their once formidable position, the Germans also lost their ability to maintain rail communications. Although the Allies had won, the forest of Argonne was significantly difficult to maneuver through. The uneven ground formations and dense woods made the challenging operation even more adverse.
Bordered by the heights of the Meuse on one side, the Argonne Forest on the other, and we visited both of those areas and understand that those terrain features would significantly, that's the major influence of the battle. It determines everything, the way one uses weapons, the fatigue that the soldiers have, the fact that they have to go through rivers and climb up hills is an expenditure of energy on their individual survival part. The weather of the time, which was rainy and just above zero, so you're dealing with the human body attempting to survive in this environment. And then you add the factor of weapons and how you employ weapons, the arc, the trajectory of a round, and where it lands. That has everything to do with geography. It's the key element in any military study. How do we attack this type of topography?
The first opening attack was a surprise. The Allies advanced through the Meuse River and Argonne Forest. After 11 days, the Germans began retreating their initial positions. With every attack, the battles edged deeper into the forest. However, during the first phase of battle, the thick forest was deeply entrenched with fortified positions filled with machine gun nests and artillery placements. After the initial assault, progress on the operation was slowing down but still going. Encyclopedia Britannica further states that Allied units adapted to the harsh environment within a month. They began combining tanks and air support to attack German positions. During the final phase of the operation, the Allies began contesting critical locations where the key rail lines were. American and French forces finally encircled the last German defenses. After cutting off the Germans' last options, in November of 1918, they had requested an armistice that began the end of World War I. According to the American Battle Monuments Commission, French and American expeditionary losses were heavy. Despite that, the operation weakened German forces and showed the effective strength of combined arms, which militaries utilized ever since. Americans began their offensive on the south side of the map, progressing towards Schwarzwald Trench and the Charlottenburg Trench, the first piece of territories. They can either head straight onto the trench, or follow the train tracks forward or go around the flank. The first territory holds a flag, and consists of a nearby pillbox and a small setup of trenches leading towards a bunker. America begins the assault on the east side. They can head towards A flag in 2 directions. They can head towards A flag straight forward, or they can enter through the side. A flag holds a small trench outside of a bunker where the defenders are. This is where the 3 lanes form. This location features open terrain, but small amounts of cover. If the defenders fail to contest the zone, they fall back deeper into Death Valley and onto the bunker with B flag. The flag zone is a fortified area one team can defend by staying in the impenetrable howitzer bunker and traversing the rock formations. The second sector begins with America entering the howitzer bunker with B flag. B flag is another small trench setup, but with strong bunkers for cover. The Americans can come in from 3 different directions. They can either follow the train tracks and push through the bunker doors, or they could push through the middle and fight through close quarters combat in the bunker, or they can come in through the opposite side in Death Valley. All directions lead to the main bunker. The area is surrounded by artillery cannons and the broken down train. If the attackers eventually take over the location, the defenders then fall back to the major choke point in the middle of the map holding C flag. The Hellfire Junction Bridge allows the armored train to cross. This is the key point in the map where 2 teams can fight over this position for the entire match. B flag is taken, the Americans advance towards the Hellfire Junction. This is the major choke point that pits the 2 teams against each other. The main fighting occurs on the train tracks over the bridge. Even though this is a choke point, both teams have multiple ways to get across. Both teams have 3 lanes. They could either go straight forward, Americans can go through the right, or they could cut through the left. They also have another flanking position. The Germans can either flank around that same tunnel, they could go straight, they have another tunnel, or they could go all the way around. On the train tracks, the Americans can push forward and hit C flag from multiple sides. On the north here with Death Valley, Americans can either flank or attack straight forward. All flanks lead to C flag. Americans have access to 1 cannon on the side, and Germans have 2 separate cannons on the other side. There's also a machine gun nest on the bottom right here, and another one for the Germans up here. There's also a flamethrower on the bottom of the bridge. Near the main bridge is a creek surrounded by hills. On the other flank is the old hunter's cabin. Fighters are not pushed back until the whole bridge is conquered. The defenders then withdraw down to D flag known as Kaiser's Ridge. Attackers can push through the area in multiple directions. Around the main choke point are at least 2 flanking positions. The defenders are first positioned in a trench with 2 pillboxes on each side. When Americans are able to take over the bridge, the Germans then fall back to Kaiser's Ridge in D flag. This is where most of the linearity ends, and fighting takes place on one ridge. The Americans can continue on the train tracks, where they can push through, or they could flank behind D flag, and go all the way around. They can push through this tunnel, or they can flank. D flag consists of a trench with 2 pillboxes on the side. The ridge offers a little high ground, but it's hard to defend since people can attack from all sides. If D flag hasn't been contested yet, Germans have the 1 cannon pointed at C flag. If the area is contested, then the Americans can use it against the Germans. Once the Americans take control of D flag, they have multiple ways to get to the final objective. They can first go through this path, which is the most exposed. They have a tiny bunker they can go through. They can flank all the way around, or they can hit them from the side and go through the hill. This area is known as Abbey Ruins. The Germans can defend the area by holding the lower level. Americans can attack from multiple directions while the Germans are held up inside. However, the armored train cannot hurt the lower level. That means if the Germans keep this place well defended, nobody can enter, and this could serve as the final choke point area. Thanks for watching, subscribe for more. And what's your favorite gun to use on the map, and what's your favorite location? Let me know if I got anything wrong, any part of the history or the game. I got more stories coming on the way.